What's good, y'all? 2016. Y'all know what time it is. Now, something fresh and new to my channel. I told y'all I was bringing new content, baby. I was gonna bring that fire, legendary fire, like several mangaka and artists and authors I could be naming that are doing it this year. That's how I'm doing it. Okay. Now I know I've said some of the stuff I'm gonna be doing, alcohol reviews. I talk about classic, reviews of shows and whatever else. That's gonna come. All that jazz is coming. No death matches and all that. All that's coming. Fights, all that's coming. But another thing that's coming, obviously, if you can see this, is comic reviews. Alright? Be doing whether it be comic book issues, issue by issue, or in this case it was a mini-series, so yeah, go ahead and get through that whole thing, that bulk. And this time, to start it off, a very interesting case. A character I ain't really know of, as much as I know DC and Marvel and whatnot. A character I ain't even really know of until recently, and mainly thanks to, you could say, the series Arrow. Okay, love it, greatness. Yes, it is. Deadshot, and I saw this on there. I went to this comic site, right? I saw it on there. I'm like, you know what? Let me go and check this out. This is the 1988 version, so we going taking it back. Okay. I'm like, all right. And, it's the 80s, and it's probably just on the late 80s. This is right before Spawn and all that came out. This, after you got Uncanny X-Men. So this is gonna be some mature material. And it probably, and this is only a short, some miniseries, so I'm not gonna push too heavy on the mature aspect, which is fine. This should be mainly about Deadshot. Now, I did say we're gonna get more into his thing. We did kind of get an origin story, but this was a very interesting thing. Now, I will say this: if you're expecting to know his full-blown, how he came to be Deadshot, this isn't that. Okay, this is not that. This is an explanation to a degree about why Deadshot, Floyd Lawton, is who he is. Very, very interesting. Now, I must say this. And understand this. This is about the same amount. You got 4 issues. It's about the same amount of episodes as Floyd Lawton was in the series Arrow. I personally prefer Arrow's version, and I don't think it's a preference. I really think it honestly did it better. And the explanation as to why he is what he is, the backstory, and whatever else. As a Marine, was Marine or Army? It was one of the two. And that whole PTSD situation. How he became, his issues with his wife and everything else. In this one, Deadshot, it's more he chose this, and it's more his mind got corrupted because of his parenting, his upbringing, and everything else. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it was fairly well done, surprisingly well done, seemingly on the premise. Once I tell you the premise, you'll be like, huh? But then, you don't understand when I explain it. But in the way that the Arrow did it, it was very logical in how he became who he became. He was already more or less an assassin. Now, in this version, okay, before I be getting to a bit of his backstory and whatever else, right? In this version, as opposed to Arrow, where, it's obviously modern century, I think he was either in the Iraq or Afghanistan conflict. One of those conflicts, or both. I cannot recall. But in Arrow, you had that, his wife couldn't handle him. He pulled out his gun, and then she called the cops, and then boom, 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 he stayed away, became an assassin for hire, hitman, whatever, for hire, became one of the top in the world, and all this jazz, And eventually we get to Amanda Waller, and who is much skinnier in Arrow than she is in this version of Deadshot. We get to Amanda Waller, and, eventually the Suicide Squad gets developed, if the series, he dies and everything, and we get all that explained, and we do see character development alongside Diggle. Okay, now in this version though, there's gonna be none of that character development. This version is where pretty much he's from a social elite status, where his pops runs the town. He's got that much economic, political, social sway. Yo, that's crazy. Your pops runs the town. Now, if you were a Kill la Kill fan, I gotta remind this. What was it? The Zennies? I'm trying to remember, but it was Osaka. Okay, and that one dude. What my Kill la Kill fans? It's been a minute. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The dude with the glasses and the braces, where they would shoot money and stuff. It's kind of on that vibe, okay? A little bit different, but y'all get the drift if you know Kill or Kill. So just his dude, Lawton's father, runs his town, right? And his mom, for whatever reason, hates the man she married. So she wants him off, okay? And I'm not gonna spoil it, but it gets his brother and Deadshot involved, okay? It's really explains a lot, okay? When you read the explanation as to why he becomes Deadshot in his mind, where love gets all kinds of twisted, yeah, this is what happens when families go south. Some can say, well, you know, it's no, this kind of stuff, yeah, this may be a bit extreme. I mean, it is comics, sometimes the comics do go a little bit out there, but it does happen. I mean, have you ever heard some of these life insurance battles? You got wives out here killing husbands for life insurance? I mean, come on, this is not unreasonable. Not in the least. You know, unforced divorce and stuff. This is crazy. And so, you know, by this time, he fought Batman, but apparently Batman Bruce Wayne said he pulled punches. Deadshot's pulling punches. So why is he pulling punches? We did not get the explanation as to why he was pulling punches with Batman. And there's, I'll explain a young lady who is an important character in this miniseries. And the question she was asking, where would we go with that? So he doesn't go all out against Batman, who you know you better go all out against, because this is Batman. The Batman does not play. But Batman said, yo, you not being your total self with me. Something's up. Something's got to give. I will get to why I think, you know, just from what's been portrayed in this specific 4-issue selection from Deadshot as to why he pulls. But, you know, I'll say that for the end. So you got that, that he's on the Suicide Squad, and apparently he's been on for a while, and eventually tells Amanda Waller, look, I gotta go take care of some personal business. I did this thing for you. He kind of goes against, you know, the grain as far as his execution. He's on some different but similar to the Punisher, Frank Castle, okay? He does what he wants, you know, Frank... The Punisher's not going to listen to a guy like Nick Fury. Lawton, he's not listening to Amanda Waller. This is not going to happen. Okay, and Argus and all that. He ain't going to listen to that. No. Look, he's like, look, you want the job done, I'll get the job done. I'll get it done my way, in the way I see it. As long as we get the results, who cares? He took out El Jefe, the boss, whoever the boss was. An old member of the gang, apparently talking about hinted back to prison days. There was hints of homosexuality, prison rape, prison sex, all that kind of junk. Hints at child molestation, hints at suicide, hints at a lot of darker undertones that really didn't get fleshed out too well, which is fine because that wasn't the focus of this. So there was that. Deadshot just takes out folks. He takes them out. His accuracy is ridiculous. You know, he selectively shoots a person if he wants to torture him. He didn't do any torture methods like, or any, you know, harsh interrogation methods when you could think of Batman, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, the Daredevil, Matt Murdock, or even Punisher. No, he just shoots you. This version, he just shoots you. He'll shoot you in the leg, he'll shoot you in the back. He'll make sure you're still alive until he, you know, kills you. But he'll shoot you. There's no qualms with him. He's highly intelligent as well. You know, he's got these. He shoots with like these. They said Magnum. Like, so he's got guns. He's not even carrying around a sniper. This dude's the truth. He's coming in with handguns and perfect accuracy. Are you serious? That's ridiculous. He got his name. His cool name is right. He's Deadshot. Okay. How he became so good at shooting, he didn't fully explain on this one, but that again, that wasn't a focus of this series. Now you have this Marlene Hare something. She had a different name, Hare something. Dr. Harris. She was a psychologist. She was his therapist, and she's trying to help him, trying to figure him out, trying to understand him because he's such a complicated case. And you know, there was a seeming hint at a possible romantic sexual interest, maybe not, uncertain. But it was more personal because we find out later on down the line, she mentions, yo, my sister committed suicide, you know. And so there's the sheriff who tries to help out in Lawton's hometown. And so he's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You ain't just, you know, this ridiculous infatuation. There's a legitimate, you want to help this dude if you can. She's like, yeah, pretty much. That's what it comes down to. And she's asking a lot of questions. Like, she found out about him pulling punches with Batman. So she's trying to understand the way his psyche works. And in the end, it's like, yo, you know, he has a very fatalistic mentality. You can argue to say he has a nihilistic philosophical standpoint. He's got a very nihilistic ideology, very fatalistic. And he's like, yo, you can put a bullet. He has no qualms killing. He has no qualms, mainly because he has no qualms with death. He doesn't fear. At least what's been showcased here, he has no fear. He will go in a situation. He's very good at what he does. He's extraordinary. He's an expert. He's a master at what he does. And he has no fear to die. When you have those two, you're the ultimate weapon. You become the ultimate weapon. Death has no bearings on you. When you don't fear death and you got the skills to back it up, it's not that you're unstoppable, but you're just massively dangerous. And that's what we have in Lawton. A massively dangerous character who, on top of that lack of fear, he's fearless in the truest sense of the word. He is legitimately fearless. And he doesn't just kill to kill. That's just not his agenda. He's not a sociopath. He's highly intelligent. I don't think he's a psychopath either. It's just he encounters situations to where, you know, he also tried to explain it to his wife and why he's divorced. His wife didn't understand him, so he left. He's like, yo, this, you know, I love my kid, you know, I'll be there the way she got him back. And she, you know, his wife, it's like unfortunately how some women be. And where they don't want to, they'll say they love you, but they don't fully understand the man. Okay? They say they love the man, they don't fully understand him, don't care to fully understand him, want to, you know, change it, but want to be with him, but don't care to fully get him. And with a man like Lawton, who's got a lot of psychological issues, no, he needs you to accept him for who he is, what he is. Like he says near the end of this, I am who I am, and I am what I am. Like, don't try to change me. Don't try to overanalyze me to the point of, you know, you're projecting what you want me to be. I am this, and if you cannot accept it, well, screw it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave. Deuces. Peace. I don't need you in my life if you're going to try to weigh me down with this burden, man. You know, this is a fundamental difference between how Arrow portrayed him and how this series. Where Arrow, he really cared about his kid. Now, he did care about it, but it wasn't to the point of, you know, this super loving father like you have in Arrow. In this situation with, you know, Deadshot, it's like, yo, if you can't, you know, I don't need anyone in my life. And some can say, well, that's, you know, that's a problem. In the case of Arrow, not Arrow, there's a question of that too, or even Batman and a lot of these anti-heroes. In the case of Deadshot, it makes perfect sense. He does not need anyone in his life. He may choose to have you in his life, and that's it. He doesn't need anyone. There's no crutch. There's no weapon you can use against him. He has nothing. He legitimately has nothing to lose. He has no right, you know. He had an issue with his mom, and it came down to the Piper because, look, man, you know, I'm not going to spoil one of the main conflicts, but it was out of necessity. But then he's like, yo, you know what? He listened to the therapist and like, you know what? Killing my mom? Yeah, no, I'm not going. I'm going to have her suffer. You know, retribution on, you know, and this is where I think here's a key difference between his character and, let's say, a character like Deathstroke, Slade Wilson, and Punisher. Okay, to where he does not take that extra step. He selectively chooses, and this is the same sense in what happens in the Arrow. He selectively chooses who he wants to kill. Intelligent, it shows he has discretion. It shows that his characterization and character development has so much more to it. In this 4 issue, you don't usually get this much out of stuff, but in these 4 issues, so much is left in mystery and ambiguity, vagueness, but at the same time we get a detailed profile of who this man is. Now, as far as pulling punches, I'm not sure what Deadshot's morality is. Not from this portrayal, right? I'm not sure what his morality is. I think he sees a guy like Batman. I think he can, there's this kinship, this brotherhood, okay? Because there's a lot of similarities between him and Batman. The only issue is that he kills, Batman doesn't. It's the only real issue. So if you want to take that into consideration, guys like him, the Joker, Namor and the Submariner. I was actually just talking to a couple friends about Namor. It was Black Panther and then Winter. But Namor, Batman, Joker, Deadshot, you could say Punisher. Who else did I mention? Wolverine, aka Logan, aka James Howlett, and anybody else? I think there was one more person I mentioned. The Incredible Hulk. These guys have no qualms with killing. Now you can say, well, Batman doesn't kill. Batman chooses not to kill, but that's for a whole entirely different. So he doesn't become the Joker. The Joker kind of balances. They have each other, so they balance out. So those have their own relation. But in similar mindset, these dudes' moralities are so complicated because of trauma, because of everything else, and the way that they view the world. That I put all of them kind of guys together. Their discretion in the way that they choose to act is very, very particular and not easily understood. If you try to come at them superficially, you're gonna completely miss their entire character. It's deep characters, man. Deadshot, a surprisingly deep character. Very, very surprised. I am delightfully surprised at this. I was not expecting this. I knew he was a good character, but I was not expecting this. Now, and just because it's for, am I going to put him up with some of the legends I have? No. I need to read a lot more Deadshot. But this is a comic. If you want to learn about the character of Deadshot, if you want to learn more about Frank Lawton, that's the name. Floyd Lawton, excuse me. Frank Castle. If you want to learn more about Floyd Lawton, if you want a good, quick, short read, it's about 24 pages for each issue. I will say this, the art game, it was the art game, it wasn't when Yoshihiro Togashi, Hunter, it wasn't that level bad, okay? It wasn't sometimes with Akira Toriyama, it wasn't bad art, okay? It wasn't that, the art wasn't great, okay? The art was not great by any means, but it wasn't, you also got to take this is 30 years ago, okay? Art wasn't always up to snuff, okay? There was some issues in comics back in the day, okay? So, it is, you take it or leave it, Just saying, the art's not stellar. It by any long shot of the imagination, any conception, it was not stellar artwork. That's the reality. But overall, the story carried it so much to where, doesn't have to be the greatest art. The story, as far as artwork is concerned, visuals are concerned, doesn't have to be the greatest. At least, you could tell individual characters and stuff, backgrounds were present. There was things that just wasn't the best drawing. Which actually kind of gave it, as the series went on, the miniseries went on, the story went on, it kind of gave it it fit in a surprising manner. I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm just telling you how the atmosphere, it actually fit with what they were trying to present Floyd Lawton as. This kind of fragmented, impressionistic, vagueness to him. It fit him. Okay, so it worked. Subpar as it was at times, it worked for his psyche in what was being portrayed. Anything else? The pacing was okay. It was nothing, sometimes the pacing was right on. Other times it was like, oh, please speed up a little bit. Is that necessary? So there was a few moments there. Is this necessary? Is this really presenting what you're trying to go at? Where are we heading here? That kind of thing. Overall, the pacing was okay. It was nothing special. Okay? Overall, I gotta give this. I don't want to go 6 because it deserved. It was better than good. 7 to 7.5. I don't usually I'll give about 7, 7. But 6. I I'll just stick 7. I'm conflicted because the art game, the story wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it was solid. You know what? Yeah, I'll give it a 7 because it kind of reminded me a little bit of how the takeaway I got from the Son of Batman. If you saw that review, okay, it was not the best storytelling, but it drove home points. I think that this drove home a better point than the Son of Batman, but Son of Batman's visuals and things were definitely better than this. I know you're talking about cinematics versus drawn, but come on, man. Art is art, and this, and again, the pacing, if the pacing was better, it may have bumped it up a bit. A few other things were gone. You know, you can't say, oh, because it was short, because you could have one issue and the thing be phenomenal. So it doesn't matter about the length, it matters about the execution, ladies and gentlemen. Unexpected one to like, comment, subscribe, tell me your thoughts. If you read it, if you have not read it, I definitely recommend checking this out. Deadshot, man. It makes me very interested in this character, and yes, there will definitely be more comic reviews when I get to them. Again, whether it be issue by issue, depending on the series, if it's a mini-series, you know, if it's a different one, I'm going to give a review on it. Alright, y'all, have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.